what is the framework that we are using to measure the business? And to make that a little bit more objective, we're talking about what metrics are we trying to track? How exactly do we calculate those metrics, right? Down to the precision of, exactly what is the formula for utilization, project profitability, gross margin, delivery margin, whatever those metrics are for you, exactly what's included in each object within that formula. Like, you got to get to that level of precision. And then what are the relationships between those metrics and our business, right? So what questions are they actually helping us answer? What does it mean if it goes up or if it goes down? What does that tell us about our business? How are these things related to each other? Are there any of these metrics that are going to be used to calculate other metrics, right? Are we clear on how this whole framework, like, that has to be the first step, because that's the objective. That's the outcome that all this stuff should be laddering up to. Once we have that, then we can go look at the data, which is, do we have the tools in place that could create the data necessary to reach those reporting outcomes? Do we have the right conventions inside of those tools to be able to produce data that's structured in a way that's going to work for those kinds of things? And are the tools configured, in such a way that they're going to be able to accomplish all the workflow objectives that our team has and still produce good data? And I think the important consideration there is it operationally feasible, right? And this is where there's often a lot of oversight, where we design a system that theoretically should work, but then in practice, the team has to spend 2 hours a day updating a bazillion tasks and making sure that there's perfect compliance on having estimates on every single task and every single subtask and adding a tag to every single time entry. And you just never actually get the outcome because the requirements were kind of crazy to begin with. So that's kind of part two, is data. So we had framework, we had data. And then the last one, which is so overlooked, is process, which is okay, if we assume that the data is going to be messy, that things are going to change, and that, we're going to have to iterate on this, and someone's going to have to own taking the data from these tools and actually getting it into the right format on the right cadence and maintaining that against all the changes that are going to happen in the business.